Oh, I'm a busy elf, and I'm packaging up apples, I think. I don't know who wants apples for Christmas, but some people are gonna get apples. Because we're packaging up apples or oranges. Merry Christmas. Who wants a package of apples? Hey, user. Hey, that dumb cat lady. That's a horrible name. I am that dumb cat lady? Come on. That's hitting your mind. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Ninja Joe. Hi, Ramatola. How you guys doing? Cindy Dasher Nails. Yes, I know. I see you. I haven't been on the live in a while. But I'm going to come back here on TikTok because I got apples or oranges to pack. I guess a lot of people were thinking about fruit for Christmas, so they manifested fruit, and here I am in my weird way. I guess nobody who is manifesting fruit and you know what? I bet Heather will be an elf and she will be stamping them. That's how I'm gonna get them. Sometimes that's how crazy our manifestations come in. Good, Sharon. I'm glad. Hi, Ryan. My dad's name is Ray. I was just playing around with what they had for the holidays. This one made me laugh. Hey, Deb. So how are you, Francesca? I've been working on YouTube's, and I finished chapter 5 through 10 of that book in one sitting. Because it's really powerful, but it's also quick. Like most of the chapters aren't even a chapter; they're like 2 paragraphs. So I just whipped through that. But it's amazing. I love that book. I mean, that book, you could just read that book and you can manifest every fucking thing you want to manifest. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, then you got to practice your little instrument, but yeah, go listen to them. Well, Jolene didn't put that one up yet because I just made it, but 4 is up. And that one I did a little more commentary, a little more talking because it was short, so I wanted to talk about it. And then now the next one's all done. And then I decided what I'm going to do is be back on TikTok, so I could do TikTok lives, and then we'll upload the TikToks to Facebook and to YouTube as well. Because that's easy and fun. More fun for me on TikTok. So what's going on? How we doing, guys? Let's do some Q&A. Let's talk about it. I know you have questions. I know you do. I have been imagining lots of interaction. I've been imagining lots of engagement. I've been imagining lots of questions. Because for some reason, when I first came on, it was like I would talk, sort of like lecture about Neville Goddard, and I would say questions, and everybody would be like, no, we don't have any questions. Hey, Belushi, I see you are a new follower. Thank you. I hope you joined the YouTube group, the Facebook group, and I hope you subscribed on YouTube. And so here's what I'm doing that I'm really looking forward to. The Anchor or Spotify app, I'm doing another podcast, but that one is really just like more for fun. That one's going to be like personal stories, things I've manifested, things I've been through. A lot of clients that have been working with me for a while, and you can have like a few people call in how they got through their manifestation journey, where they are, what they've struggled with, like stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be more fun and more just kind of engaging. Whereas the YouTube one is more like, let's learn Neville Goddard. Let's hear about it. Let's read the lectures. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. So that makes me happy. It's like a nice mix. I think it's a nice mix. And also, I promise you, the audio has gotten better. I found a new editor, and I've actually been like sitting in my closet with this new editor. I was trying to use the script, which was like supposed to be the easiest thing, and then it would mess everything up. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a podcast, and the audio is the worst. But it's more important to me that you get the content out and you listen to it and you understand I am my awareness. What I am aware of being is what's going to express. The law is perfectly fair all the time. What I'm aware of being is going to express. I'm going to be looking at that kid, right, that I made in my image real soon. And is it going to be a kid I like, or is it going to be like this, kid that I just, no, thank you. So, listen, I just went through some shit, and I was a couple freaky little kids going on right now, but you know what? I'm neglecting them right now. If anyone's listening, this isn't about manifestation. It's not real. I'm not really hurting any children. It is a manifestation topic. Or we want to ignore. Beautiful Goddess. I love that name. Thank you, Belushi. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're learning. I know I have a deep, deep belief that there are so many people that really want to learn Neville Goddard's teachings and understand them and the depths of them and what he's talking about. And then, especially if you're new, this is what I said in this last one. If you're new, or if you've been struggling, or if you're just having a hard time, that's the original recipe. Just follow it. Just follow it. Stop refusing. Stop jumping around, listening to anyone who can hop on TikTok, social media, and dress up like an elf and stamp it stamp a box over it. Even me. That's why on that channel I read it. It's right there in his words. And then he tells you what to do, how to do it. Do it. Try it. Test it. At least. And then make up your mind. But so many people are like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do this. They said I don't have to do this kind of thing or that. Okay, they said that, but do you have, how's it going for you? Right? And then you're in the room saying, it's not going for me. Okay, so why don't you just start with something like that? Because it's a really simple concept. What I am aware of, my Father and I are one. My Father and I are one. One God. My Father and I are one. But my Father's greater than I. So what is it? My Father is the formless. He's just the aware. I'm just awareness out here. And then it becomes you step in and say, like a microscope or something, or a flashlight. I'm aware of that. And instantly, the Father starts to form into it. And then begins to harden instantly. But then we got to, let it set. Now, if it's something you don't want, good. It takes a minute so you can say, whoa, I've been aware of being broke. I've been aware of this person not talking to me. I've been aware of being insecure. I've been aware of feeling overweight, whatever. It doesn't matter. I've been aware of that. And I wasn't aware that I was aware of that. And now I am. And so now I'm going to switch my awareness. And then other things, we're like, yes, hell yeah, I'm aware of that. That I have endless money, that I'm independently wealthy, that this works out for me, that works out for me, that I'm, married and cherished, and it's the best holiday season ever this year, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to harden into fact. It will. It just does. This is a legit thing. It just does. It's the way it works. There was a time where I was like, I'm pretty sure this works. And then I realized, holy shoot, this is real. And we know this. We literally changed our world with our thoughts, and we know this. Do you understand how, do you get the gravity of that? It's incredible. And I have tons of testimonies to tell you. People who've come in and we sat there and we went over a couple different areas, like love and like discipline with the disciples, and like your desires and your states. And people have gotten amazing, including me. I was like, oh, am I putting enough attention into myself? And then I realized I'm saying this every day, all day, in these lives and in these Zooms, every day, all day. I'm persisting in these thoughts. States switch so fast. I am an elf and I am putting oranges in boxes because apparently a lot of people wanted fruit for Christmas, and I'm showing them that your manifestation can come in the weirdest way. I don't know, I just picked a filter. So I want to know who thought that Heather from Manifesting Naturally would be the little elf who would be stamping their Christmas fruit or balls. I don't know. It looks like oranges or something to me. Or apples, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. But a lot of people wanted them for Christmas. They must have been thinking about them. And I want to know who thought that this was the way they would come. Because that's how weird manifestations can come in. Am I lying, Helen? Am I lying? Pretty Persian. Oh, hey, girl. I love your pretty Persian princess name. I imagine like Jasmine from I'm the elf preparing your man visit. That's right. You never would have thought it, and this is how stuff happens. And you find out and you're like, what? Let me see how I change this, because this is even annoying me now. I think I've boxed enough oranges. How do I get out of these filters? Da 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 da. I know, it's okay. I'm gonna be back on TikTok. I'm gonna be doing more TikTok videos and TikTok lives. And then I'm gonna upload the TikTok lives to YouTube and to Facebook. And like I said, I'm really excited because Helen's gonna be on with me too. I'm gonna make her. I'm Laura. I'm working with the Anchor, Spotify, Apple podcast. And that's going to be like my fun place, because you can have like up to 5 callers. You can talk about their experiences, where they're at, things they went through, things they've overcome. So it could be like conversational, and everyone's at different places. And I'm going to talk about like my own personal experiences. I'm going to talk about like my own hacks, like how I say, like, take love from every tap, like, or why I say that, or, different things, like what I use, how I get through it. And then the YouTube is more like class. Like, we're going to go from the book or from a lecture. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through it. And you will like sort of like learn the principles there. And then this other app will be like more like, let's have fun. Let's talk about things we've manifested. Let's talk about, I was talking earlier, Helen, about like when you know you're thinking crappy thoughts and you're going to be looking at your ugly kid in a little while because you made it in your image, and how you have to neglect it and let it disappear. How annoying that is. As you did it, because it's only you. It's only you. How do I change this? Now I'm done stomping apples. Hey, Celeste. Kristen Joe, the Divine Diva. I like some of these names. Some people come in here and I really have to wonder about their names, what they're thinking. Somebody was like, the horrible, ugly cat lady or something. It's like, babe, I am that? Come on. Come on now. Here we go. I'll just get rubbed down by a weirdo snowman. Hello, snowman. So, do we have some questions? I'd like to hear some questions. We're talking about, I tried to put it up here. I don't see it, but I put everyone is you pushed out and no free will. Because to me, that is the thing I forget the most. I'll remember sometimes with some people, and then other times I'm like, oh, I hope they do this. And it's like, I don't hope, wait, who am I hoping what does what? Who am I hoping that what does what? There's no hope. There's just what I say and what I persist in and what I think about and what I decide. There's no hope. Great, Clara. I like calling you Clara Bear. Why are you Clara Bear? Like a Care Bear? So tell us, what else is coming in? All day, every day, baby. Are you 52? I just turned 50. Still a little mopey about that. It's just the time goes so fast. I mean, I don't really care. It's just the time. It's just like, how is it going to be? How can it be? Francesca, what's coming in? What's on your list? Santa's been coming early. Frosty's RSP. Yeah, he's a little deranged, right? Look, he even likes it. Yes, I am. I'm a weirdo. Let's talk about everyone is you pushed out. That's my song. It is the hardest one too for me. I mean, I don't want to affirm that, but it's just the one that I forget the most. Or like I said, I remember it with certain things and certain people, but then I'm like, this is always. This is always. It's interesting. I tried to talk to my dad tonight about this a little bit. My dad's very supportive, so like, it's not hurting anyone. And he's like, okay, if you want to believe it, just, that's great. Go manifest whatever you want. Like, more power to you. But he's also like into kind of cool stuff. So like, I kind of thought he'd have more interest. I don't know. That's one thing that I kind of have a belief on, that like we wake up when we wake up, or when we're like woken up. Like, I feel like you can't make someone wake up. But I mean, technically, if it's just me imagining, and then I could be like, wow, they're awake. Look how amazing they woke up too. Like, so, I don't know. I just don't even like to, it doesn't matter to me that much to like to force it. But my dad would say stuff like, no, that's fantastic. But, you want to align your perspective with reality. And I'd be like, that's the whole point, Dad. There is no like reality. You're creating your reality in a way. You're creating your experiences. So I told him to test it. I was like, why don't you think about like somebody in a purple polka dot hat? Think about that for a day or two. Of course I'll see someone in a purple polka dot hat. I'm older, got hired as a flight attendant against all odds. Excellent. Passed medical and everything. They don't have course dates yet. I used to fly in my youth. Hey, Amy. I have a good friend. Well, I have a friend that I've known for a long time. She's now in her 80s. She's African American, and she was one of the first black flight attendants. And she tells me some crazy stories. But she loved it. She would do the shuttle. We're in New Jersey, so she would do the shuttle back and forth to like Washington, D.C. And then be home in time to like feed her kids dinner and blah, blah, blah. I hear it's hard too, isn't it? Like a lot of, like it's a lot to go through. Although Helen works at an airline. She's not a flight attendant, but she works at an airline. Is it hard to get in there these days? I always knew and thought it was like a hard thing to break into. Fiery Vixen. Hello, how are you? Well, I'm really happy for you, Francesca. And then you get like flights and you travel all the way around. Hey, Emerson. We're trying to talk about everyone is yourself pushed out and no free will. Everyone is you pushed out and no free will. So anybody have any questions? Which one what? Airport? Helen's in Canada. Lisa Hunt. Hi, how are you? How are you? What's going on? We're talking about some of Clara Bear's, her name is Francesca, some of her manifestations that are coming in. I am open for questions on, tonight I'd like to do Everyone Is Yourself Pushed Out, because I think we forget it a lot, and no free will. Zero, zilch. It's just us. It's just us. Everything's coming out of us. There's no free will. Ever. But there's trickery, and we will fall for it sometimes. Hi, Valerie. Valentine. Free will in general? So, I mean, generally, we don't even have that much free will. We have free will to decide, do I like this part in this play? Now that I'm awake, do I like this shit? I'm getting a desire, right? Which the desire is a gift to get us out of usually a problem, right? So if this desire were to be here now, I would not, I would feel better about X, right? And then what happens? We do our little thanks and our gratitude and our scenes or our repetition, whatever you're doing to get yourself into that place where you're like, this is who I am, this is my character, this is what I'm playing, and I'm staying in it until it happens, right? So while you're there, what are we told? What do you do? Nothing. You're on your bridge. So now you don't even have free will because you're being led and guided, to the elf who's putting oranges in, and then you have to get your package, right? And then nobody else has free will because there isn't anybody else, guys. Basically, this is how it works, according to Neville Goddard, and we can go over this and talk about it again and again. But so God breaks off into pieces. God is just consciousness awareness, right? We got to get this religious notion out of our mind altogether. We have to end that because a lot of people have a hard time with that. And if you can't accept that, you're the creator, that you're the, and then if you can't accept that, then how on earth are you doing all this? These are big promises. How are you pulling this off? Neville's telling you, these are not people, all right? So we got to get that out of our mind. So your consciousness, your awareness, and your mind is, your imagination is God. Pretty much everything is God, right? Like, that's the thing. God is all the parts in the play. So he breaks himself off for expansion, for a couple different reasons, right? But he's still one God. He's still one, just broken off. It's like the fingers on my hand. It's still my hand. And he has to forget himself And he has to forget that he has even forgotten, because it's not like I can forget I'm Heather to go play a part in a real play. Because at the end of the day, I still know I'm Heather, I'm playing a part. What he had to do was say, I'm going to forget that I even forgot. Like, I just think I'm, whoever I'm playing now. I don't even remember Heather. I have no idea who is that. Like, I'm in this play now. In each of us, God is asleep, knocked out, right? Dreaming. This is Neville Goddard's teaching. Dreaming. The dream of your life. That your self-concept, that your thoughts, that your repetitive thoughts that you have not been paying attention to, that were instilled within you that you didn't even realize. All of those different things. Your concept of self, which is different. It's just a choice. It's just a simple choice. What do you want? It's just a simple choice, because it's different in every area. So maybe in like work, I have amazing self-concept. I always do great. Maybe in school, I'm like a star student, never study. Maybe in health, I'm sick all the time. Who knows? Maybe my marriage is great, but we don't have any money. Maybe, you know what I mean? So who are you? What's your character in each area of life? And what's your story of your, your leading actor or actress that's playing opposite of you? You have a story about them too. So what is that story, right? So God's asleep. You're the one telling God like what you're thinking, because it's your imagination, and he's dreaming this life for you. Until we wake up and be where we are now, or at some level now where we're awake, because we know this and we're here and we're learning and we're trying. So there's some awareness now that there's something else going on. There's something bigger than us. There's something happening. And now I'm going, oh, wait, I'm aware of my thoughts. And if I keep thinking my thoughts, because God's my imagination, if a thought, right, my thoughts are what I'm imagining these things, right? If I'm thinking them up, I'm imagining that they're happening or will happen, or that's how someone's going to be or whatever. So that's what is going to happen. God's just going to keep forming into that. He's going to keep dreaming. Now that we're awake, it's like we're in a lucid dream. Okay? So now, in me, the God in me that's dreaming, right? And now I, the garment, am like awake. I'm like, whoa. Right? And I hear this and I'm like, okay, so God's in me creating whatever I'm focused on. And it's going to bring in personifications, right? In a YouTube I read in a YouTube I did on I Know My Father. Hey, Once Upon a Time. He says, God will people your world. Populate your world with you as the mold, with your self-concept as the mold. So whatever's in like tune, not necessarily vibration, or we're not doing any of that, but like whatever's sort of aligned with that, whatever's matching that, whatever's, in harmony with that, that's the mold. And so that's what's going to happen. And a personification of that, whether it's physical money, a credit card, a human being, a car, like whatever it is that sort of represents that thing to you, or a very specific thing, will show up. It'll make its way somehow through people, because this is a natural world. So it's a realm. So, it doesn't just drop from the sky. That's what my dad kept saying, like, so I can just make a steak appear on a table. And I was like, no, that's what people think when they come in. Like, oh, it's just gonna, like, I'm just gonna think about it and I'm gonna make something that's not here be here. No. That's humans trying to will something to be, and that's not how it works. So I was like laughing because that's a lot of times that's what people do when they first come in. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this happen. This is just gonna like fall out of the sky, or it could fall out of the sky, but you're basically, it's gonna come through people somehow, right? So it's just you and your thoughts. And whatever you're focused on, whatever your awareness is on, God is going to start forming that into that and you're going to get saturated in that. And then it's going to get pushed out. So it's a little bit even more than a reflection, right? It's not like people are like you're attracting other people and they're reflecting back to you. That's why we say you have to give it to yourself first. I have to love me first so that I can love me enough that I don't need anything outside of me. I don't need it. Now I can want it. It's much more enjoyable, right? A real person with you, or eating cake versus reading it off a recipe card, right? So we want to enjoy our five senses. We're here to enjoy our five senses. We're allowed to. We want to. But we don't, there's a difference between enjoying something because we want to and feeling like we need it, we have to have it, or I'm miserable without it, or I can't go on, or nothing else will make me happy, or putting all my emotions, my hope, my love, my feelings in the hands of somebody else or something else. Because we've all done that. We have all tried to escape ourselves. Like if you're here, I know our heads have been, I don't know why, and I have a psychology degree, I don't know why our brains just like almost are this entity of their own that like, at least mine used to just love to torture me. I used to say out loud to my brain, like, listen, you have to either chill or you're gonna, like, I have to kill the host. And if I kill the host, you can't get around anymore. Like, you go with it. So, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand that? So I was like, so chill or you don't have a way to get around anymore. You lose your ride. Right now, no, absolutely not. Now I love to meditate. You don't have to, but I mean, Neville wrote a book on it. He talks about it, you know. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't do it perfect, or I think it's supposed to be some way, or I'm not supposed to have any thoughts, or my thoughts wandered. Yeah, that's meditating. But you go back to it, and it helps you just let your thoughts, it just helps your mind, helps you control your mind. And this whole game is about a disciplined mind, right? Being aware of what we're thinking and knowing we're not every thought. We don't have to react to every thought. And so, because we're doing that, right? So because we're now paying attention to our thoughts, we're focusing on what it is that we want, right now, having it now, being grateful now, just feeling that feeling now, giving it to ourselves now. Eventually, we'll get like a cloud. We'll get so saturated in it that it won't matter anymore, because like it's our own cup is full, and then it will run over. And when it runs over, that's being pushed out of us. And then some personification will come in some way we could never have known, because we were on a bridge. And that's why we don't have free will at that point either. The only thing we have free will about is to decide, I said yes to that, or I'm going to argue and fight for my own limitations. And that's why I try to come up with hacks and little things to trick my mind. You know? That's why, like, it's a desire. Okay, let's say you desire a huge amount of money, or a celebrity, or this gorgeous house on the beach, and you're thinking, there's no way. Okay, well, if we know that they would relieve an ache you have, if we know that they would help you feel better, they would solve a problem, then what if we just describe them as a prescription for relief instead of a gift from God, which like we have to try to feel worthy of? And prescriptions are covered by insurance, and it doesn't cost us anything, and that's for us to feel better. So just say yes, and that's it. Just keep thinking about your house, say yes. You don't have to worry about it. So little things like that. Brazen impudence is just absolute bold. I'm not taking no for an answer. That's it. Mine's made up. I will not be leaving here. I am not listening to you. I'm not hearing you. The answer is yes. You could say no 8,000 times. The answer is yes. I don't care. I'm standing here and the answer is yes. That's brazen impudence. And you want to have that too. It's sort of conviction, a little above and beyond conviction. Like, sorry, this is who I said I am. I am this character. I said I am. I said yes. I said yes. I signed. I always think of it too. Like, if I say yes to something, if I have a desire, I imagine it that it's like a contract between like God and I, my Father and I sign it, and it's like a binding contract. It's done. It's mine. I signed it. Can't get out. It's mine. It's done. And so that kind of helps with conviction and brazen impudence, because it's like, I'm sorry guys, but like I have to have this because I already signed a contract with God, and that means I focused on it. That means I said yes. It was for me to feel better. I said yes, and now that's just who I am. It's just the way it's happening. It's like if you close on a house, you sign the contract, doesn't mean you're moving in that day, right? You have some time, you have to whatever, close, do this, do that. So just think of like normal situations, everything doesn't happen that day, but you sign a contract, right? Or think about like your desire as, I've used this analogy before, but like if you get direct deposit, right? And they usually still send you a hard copy of the check, right? Because it's just for your records. So your direct deposit goes in on Wednesday night. On Friday, they hand you the envelope with a check that says direct deposit. Do you sit there and wait anxiously for your check? Are you like, oh, the check's coming on Friday. I'm going to get that check on Friday. The money's in your account on Wednesday. This is just a piece of paper in an envelope. Who cares? Right? Or you go to the doctor and he say to you, well, here's your lab results. You're perfectly fine, but the lab's going to send you the paperwork anyway. Are you in a pace wondering if you're okay when the doctor just said to you, everything's clear, but they're going to send you the records for your records? So kind of think of things like that. They're done. That's it. The money's in the bank. You're just getting the hard copy. The results are in. Everything's fine. You're just getting the hard copy. That's it. Who cares? You already have it. So that's free will, and you have to remember, nobody has any, because again, God is dreaming the dream of Heather. There's one God. Now, I have no idea. So you guys are at some point somehow in this dream with me. So if I say to you, hey, Amy, hey, Francesca, hey, Helen, it's almost Christmas time. There's a snowman behind me, right? It's 2023. I'm sure you say, yeah. Well, because you're in the same dream right now. You're seeing and experiencing the same things. I don't know the God in you, what the God in you is dreaming when we're not in the same dream, when you are out of my view for a while. I don't know. I don't know who you are, where you are. I don't know. God's dreaming a dream of you. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. You could be living in a whole different year. You could be living in a whole different planet. I don't know. I really don't know. So that's why, too, when we're thinking about the circumstances, People say, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I haven't seen them in a while. Or they moved far. Or I just heard they're married. Babe, that's a dream and you're assuming that. And you made that up. So it's a dream and it's showing up in the dream. That's all. It's a nightmare. That's it. They don't exist. You're not lugging a body from there to here. You made up some story about them. You created this character. Like, sometimes I think, okay, how come I have these certain people? Well, first of all, when I was starting this, I knew the type of people I wanted to have. I wanted to have like really fun, respectful people that wanted to learn Neville, that were, supportive of one another, that weren't just in here screaming about 3Ps and SPs and all the time. I mean, not that, of course we want that, and of course we can talk about that. But, there's some where like it's just, that's all. And I was like, no. I want you to learn so that you can manifest everything. And that's like, that's what happened. And that was years ago when I decided, like 4 years ago, when I was like, this group is done. It's made. This is what I do. I'm a coach. I love it. And so in my mind, okay, well, I've convinced myself, obviously, that I'm a coach and that these are the kind of clients I have and the kind of following I have. And there you are. So I needed clients. So I had to create people who are also interested in this. Right? You have to create people that want to travel. Doctors have to create people that get sick. Teachers have to create students. Actors have to create people that want to watch them. Writers have to create people that like to read. Like, that's the whole story. So that could be the match right there, like, and that's why you're the type, because that's what I was focused on. I didn't say, don't let this in my room. I don't want this. I don't want this. Don't let this in, right? Don't let them into this group. No, don't deny that conversation. I said, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And that's why I love it. And I've told you guys that a million times. And then, so then you guys are in my dream for a little while. Now, here's the thing. My self-concept, my ideas, my assumptions about myself, about you, let's say Amy's my SP. And I have some idea, I have some story about her, I have some history about her, I have some this, that, and I didn't know this. It's hard as a human sometimes to separate that. So I have this little story going about her. I have my own things, right? And us like together, right? So I have to kind of just forget. In fact, that's what God says love actually is. It's forgiveness to the point of forgetting. Okay, that's how you actually forgive. You forget. I love you so much, I forgive you so much that I literally can't even remember you as a person who would do anything that would possibly hurt me or make me feel like there's no way. I can't even think of it. It's not possible. That's the ultimate, right? Because doesn't God do that? We're asked to mimic God and love, one another like God loved the little children, and then they loved him back. And that's the whole point, right? We're asked to mimic God. So if I notice that, I really love Amy, but Amy's starting to tell me that and I've shared this before, but since we're talking about free will and stuff and all that, and like being in the dream, it's my reality. So I'm deciding what's Amy's telling me, what Amy's doing, all of that. So now say she starts telling me, hey, I got I think I'm going to get a part-time job, or I need a hobby. I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to be gone twice a week. I'm going to start swimming twice a week. Okay, maybe I'm okay with that. If I'm okay with that, I'm like, oh, cool, good. You do that. I'm going out with my friends. We're going to do that. Perfect. then that's what I'm doing. I'm creating like a balanced relationship. If I don't want that, if that's not what I want, if I'm sitting there saying, we already don't spend time together, and it makes me feel like you're just pulling away more. Now you're just coming up with more excuses for us to not spend time together. You're not going swimming. I am creating that because I'm having this idea, this assumption, although false, and I've been persisting in it, that as it is, we don't spend enough time together. You don't want to spend time with me. You must not want to. Now you're taking on a new hobby that's taken on 2 nights. You may be saying it's for your health, it's for this, it's for that. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm making you do that. And if I change my thoughts and say, you know what, she hated that. She wants to be home. She wants to be cozy. She wants to be with me. She wants to, she loves me. What was I thinking? God, I was being aware of something so silly, so stupid. Absolutely not. She doesn't even like swimming. It's cold and wet. Just to drive home with her hair wet and absolutely not. It won't be long until she comes in and says, I'm not going swimming this week. I'm not going swimming this week. Hey, Angie. You made me not see you? Yes, I did. I absolutely did. And I have to take responsibility for that because what was I doing? I went through a little phase where I felt mopey. I felt a little worried. I wasn't really happy with the schedule. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I felt like I wasn't doing a good job. I felt like I started worrying about money. It was my birthday. My foot was hurting. I was in bed by myself eating cake. My friend sent me I was having a pity party for myself. Even though I knew, like I said, that I'm going to face this kid, right? I'm going to make a creation, my own image. And so Helen comes to New York with Daisy. We're all excited. We're supposed to see her. And a little miscommunication as far as I didn't want to go in at night and blah, blah. We weren't sure. And it worked out so that they went and whatever, and I was home. Helen didn't do anything. Daisy didn't do anything. That's why there's no one to be angry at. You can be annoyed at yourself. You can hurt yourself. It's like stubbing your toe. It hurts. You can acknowledge that shit hurt. But you don't put yourself in jail. You don't you hurt yourself. You did it on accident. Or you did it because you were being careless, right? Or at the time you didn't care. Sometimes we just are deal with that later. I'll deal with the consequences later. Yeah, well, they will be there. They're going to be there. So that's the whole point. There's no one to change but self. And that's part of everyone as you pushed out. They have no choice. They have no choice. Daisy could not have called me. Helen could not have called me and said, or make sure you let Heather know I really want to come. No, because I was aware of being home alone and pathetic and having nobody around and I don't want to do anything. I don't feel good. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I got more of that. The law's perfect. I didn't want it, but the law is perfect. I got more of what I was aware of. Now, had I been oh my God, life is going so great. I have so many people that I get to talk to. I can go in here. I made so many new friends over this time. I love doing this. I love Helen. I can't wait to see her. Blah, blah, blah. My foot will feel better. I'll have a birthday next week. Well, whatever. Or I'll celebrate when I see Helen, blah, blah, blah. Helen would have been on the phone, or Daisy would have been I'm not going anywhere until you're in this car. That's how it would have worked. I would have got more of that. Sorry, it's dark. I have to go into the bathroom for a second. So that is literally how it works with everything. You do want to be home with me. And look what you made me do. Oh. But do you see what I mean? So at that point, it will shift. It really will. And that's another hack I use. What is the quote, right? An assumption, although false, when persisted in, will harden into a fact. So when people say, I feel crazy, I feel delusional, it's false, it's not here. Babe, it's by definition false. Right? You're off the hook. It's a false assumption. Because they all are false, because there is no actual fact. So, yeah, it's not here. I'm making a false assumption, either that it is or that it isn't. I'm making a false assumption, right? Our fears are false. Everything's false. It's all false, because there is no actual truth. There's just what I believe and what I'm going to decide, what I choose. That's why I say self-concept is a choice, moment by moment. Am I going to choose fear? Am I going to choose to think thoughts about what I want? Am I going to choose to think that people hate me, people love me? Am I going to choose to think I'm safe or I'm in, suffering? Like what? I have a choice at that moment. Now I know what my desire is, right? Like it's not hard to say, do you want to feel safe or scared? I think I know what my desire is, right? But if it's something hard that is scaring me, am I still signing the contract to say yes? Am I still, pushing through? And that's where a lot of people falter, because they don't have faith. They don't have trust. And one of the reasons why is because they don't know the truth of law of assumption. They don't even know what this is. So when they are hearing, persist and circumstances don't matter and ignore the 3D. And then all of a sudden they're like SP, their mother says, hey, I just heard they got engaged. They lose their shit. And they just go to the coach and say, how am I supposed, what do you mean? And the coach just says, well, you can join my course, right? The whole point is that I want you to know. And I want you to have a source. I want you to be able to look and see. This is why. So now you have some faith. You have some braces. You have some support. So you can say, oh, okay, it's me. It's me doing that. If I didn't know this, I could be pissed at Helen and Daisy and laying there in bed going, no, they call me. What the hell is that? I'm sorry. Maybe with some easy things, maybe with some whatever, we can just kind of give it a quick, I always get good parking at this mall. I always get great parking at this mall. All right. You say that a few times as you're going, I always get good parking at this mall. That's not something you're so hell-bent on. So you can build that belief and you can build it easily, right? But if it's something that's going to be more difficult, jump to the front of the fucking line. You're God. You're going to stand in line and be like, I believe in sleep affirmations. Just go fucking be God. I believe I'm God. How about that? I'm going to put my energy into I believe I'm God. I'm going to jump to the front of the line and I'm going to believe I'm God. I'm going to believe in this. I'm going to believe I'm conscious and I'm going to believe my thoughts are creating. I'm going to believe what I'm focused on. And life mimics it. So think if you put something under a microscope, what happens? Does it get smaller or do you hone in on it? When you turn your back, if a kid wants attention or a pet, right? And even if you're saying no, you're still engaging with them. If you turn your back, or that's the whole thing of timeout, or with an animal, they tell you, right? Just dogs don't know, no, please don't do that. Mommy doesn't like it. They just hear rah, 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 and they like it. So, or a plant, right? You don't have to dig it up to kill it. You just stop taking care of it, or plant other seeds, or keep it in the dark. That's it. That's why it's indifference, not hatred, indifference. Because if I hate something, I'm almost as obsessed as when I love something, right? I hate it. I wanted to see you too. I truly did. It's not just yours. There's a whole bunch of things going on like that. I'm finally trying to get to see my dad. I didn't get to see my dad. I haven't seen him in a while. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Where I was just like, damn it. I want to put this live on YouTube and Facebook, and then I had to pee. Me and the snowman. Hope you didn't mind. I'm comfortable like that. Because it's just me. Right, so God is dreaming a dream of me. I'm awake now. It's a lucid dream. I get to decide. Okay, I'm in this play, but I don't have to keep this part. So how do I change parts? I start to learn new lines. I start to take on a new character. I embrace that character. I get to add to the script. I get to say I get to choose who's going to be my, hey, in this movie, Helen's my ride or die, right? Helen's my Sandra Bullock to my Melissa McCarthy, right? Or this person is my husband, my leading man, or my leading woman, or whatever. And this is what we do, and this is the kind of movie it is. Look, think of a love story. There's 8 million kinds. Is it like a rom-com? Is it like a Gone with the Wind thing? Is it like Bridges of Madison County? Is it like super romantic? You get to write that. I may not want to be in your type of love story. And you may not want to be in mine. So you get to decide. That's why you don't want to go in and say, what are your affirmations? What are you doing? What were you feeling? If I'm playing a character in one TV show, you don't want to go to someone who's playing a completely different character in another show and say, how are you, can you read me your lines, and how are you going to enter into your scene? I'm coming in, I'm getting pushed in because I'm in a cop movie. I don't have any lines. I hold a gun and I get shoved. What's your lines? You're in a romance movie, or you're being swept away. It's your wedding scene. Those are two different characters. They have nothing to do with each other, right? So if you're both laying there saying, I'm good enough. All right, jump to the head of the line, man. I'm God. I'm the star. I'm the one. God is dreaming in me. He is the dreamer in me. And so that's why, we all have God in us. We all have it, but it's a dream, and we get to move around. Think about your dreams that you had last night or all week, right? So when you actually fell asleep, you're in this world. You don't know where your body is. You don't even think about where your body is. Right? But you if someone in your dream were to say, where's your body? You'd be like, I'm in my body. But if other people were watching you, they'd be like, she's asleep on the couch or on the bed. You don't know. And you have people in your dreams. And you know them and you talk to them. And they look like people. And some of them and you go to eat with them. And you have to pee sometimes. And you're hungry. And you get mad. You have nightmares. You get scared. Or you have fun. You go to amusement park. Or weirdo things happen. Right? It's like, I knew it was my I knew it was Helen, except that it was, I don't know, Kate McKinnon. But I knew it was Helen, but it looked like this person. Right? They don't always make sense. But the point is, we're in that dream together, we're having this experience together, and it's just like reality. And then you wake up, and they're gone. Where are the people from my dream last night? Where are they? Where are those buildings? Where's that city? Where was I? I have no idea. I have no idea. So that is mirroring this life. So that's what I am saying. I don't know. We're in the dream together right now. And since it's me and my reality right now, you're in my dream. So now if one of you were to write to me, we don't like you, stop talking. It's not what you're thinking. It's what I'm thinking, because that's directed at me. Now, if I were to pick one of you and say, I don't like you, I wish you were not in here, that's your reality. Why are you making me say that to you? What are you thinking? See how this works? But you could turn that around, because you'd be like, no, I always want to be in a room. I want to be invited. I like going in. So you would think, she loves when I come in. I'm like her favorite person to see. She always says hi to me. She's like hoping I'll be in there. She sends me messages that says, I'm going live in a little while, blah, 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 blah. And pretty soon I will be like, hey there, my favorite. Like you know this. You know this. That's why we're talking about it tonight, because we forget. We forget. So Angie, you had a question for me, and then you didn't get back to me. Is this something you want to talk about privately, or do you want to talk about it right now in this little Q&A? Well, I'm glad you didn't notice. But I was. Okay. That's fine. Not everybody wants to talk about all their stuff. Although I'm just dreaming up that you have a question, so. Does anybody have a specific question that they would like to talk about? That's what these Q&As are for. Because I have to start getting myself together. When I first came on here, I did 13-hour, Amy, I think you were here, Angie too. Remember Catherine and I, we did like 13 hours. It was like a weekend. We were finally able to get live, and we stayed on for 13 hours. And then like the next day we stayed on for like 11 hours. And then one time Helen and I too, we stayed on, and then we came in the morning and there was like 100 people in the room, remember? Then I went into a Zoom. I would talk till I had no voice. Like, I can't do that anymore. And make the podcast and stay sane and have topics and do this and do that. Like, it's just, so I have to, and plus when I want to upload these, if it's a lot of just like empty banter, like, just talking one-on-one, nobody wants to see that. So I have been in my mind saying, God, I love that they ask all these questions. I love that they're so inquisitive. I love that they want to know. I love that they want to hear it. Because I would used to say to people, questions, and everybody's like, no, I just like listening to you talk, which is nice. But I'm like, come on, thank you. My hair, the only thing I did was color it because it was gray. Yes. And some of these people, like I'm telling you, I have like such amazing, I don't know what to call you, followers, I don't know. From like day one. These are ride or dies. I don't know where Peggy, I told Peggy, I haven't seen Peggy in a while. I talked to her today in a message because I told her I was coming to do a live, but I actually wound up being out later than I intended to. I had a flat tire, like, you know what I mean? Like, all stupid stuff started happening. And it snuck up on me because like everything was great. And I was like, yippee-ki-yay, I'm doing this and here we go and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden like it was this, that. I didn't feel good, blah, 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 blah. I go out, I have a lot of time. It was just like nothing, but just stupid stuff. Like even I remember I was complaining to somebody. I was like, I even asked my roommate to pick me up salsa and I can only eat the mild and she brought me medium. Like I can't even eat it. But you know when you're in like one of those mopey modes that like even medium salsa is enough to push you over the edge. So that's where I was for a few days. But you know what got me out of it? Well, first of all, I meditate. I love meditating. So when I need to, I will lay there, I will chill out, I will do what I have to do. And I love Ed Art, and I will put him on my chest on my phone and just listen and listen and listen and listen. And then I will read. I like to not even listen, I like to read and read, like over and over and over, a couple lectures. And that's why, like, thank God I have, like a couple times I called Helen, I'm like, oh, I'm so confused. And she's like, I'm like, I'm not going to make any sense. And she's like, yeah, you're right, you're not. And then she's like, you know what? Go read Neville. And for first, I'm like, no, I don't want to. And then she's like, go read it. And then I do. And then I'm like, I have the most clarity ever. I'm back on my game. So when I read chapters 5 through 10 of I Know My Father, I was like, okay, here we go. This all ends today. This all ends today. Catherine is doing amazing. I just talked to her earlier. Back with her SP. Going to see her. She leaves on Saturday from Korea to, I think they were going to France or the UK. I don't know, somewhere. And she's going to spend Christmas and New Year's with her. And she may have a surprise when she comes back, but I'm not going to talk about that. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Pollock. And Piper. You joined the Facebook group, right, Piper? Because I remember seeing that name, and I always liked that name. Because I like the actress Piper Perabo from Coyote Ugly. Yes, Angie, you have. And I like Amy has too, and a couple people have really been around either from the very beginning or really early on. And you saw those videos. I got rid of half those videos. So that was all self-concept right there. With my big glasses. And at that time too, I was into the psychology, and I was like, you can just affirm. And it was like I had a retainer in my mouth, and I had my glasses and my hat and my chubby face. I looked like a little like nerdy 14-year-old boy who was like, and in psychology, I was like, how the hell are these people following me like crazy and staying? Self-concept. Just like walking around my room in circles. So Catherine's doing fantastic. I think apparently she says she comes on once in a while. You know what? I feel like this snowman's making me sweat. He's just touching me too much. He doesn't have boundaries. What else is there? What else is there? I think that was the orange guy. Is this elf or? You know what one's pretty funny? The Nutcracker guy. He's pretty funny, right? Oh, this one makes me laugh too. I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. Quickly answer. Quickly tell me what you need answered. I'm in a rush. This, by the way, is the only time on earth you'll see me in a dress. So enjoy it. Someone take me to a prom. Someone take me to a prom or a ball or something, because this is it. Come on, guys. I'm in a rush. What is your question? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oleg, you got a question? How do you cope with knowing all this? Actually, that's a hilarious question. Right, Helen? You go through different phases. Honestly. There was a time where I kind of thought, hey Jessica, I thought, I was like, yeah, this is real. It is. It has to be. It is. I kind of think. I believe it. I've seen enough things. There have been a lot of synchronicities. It has to be. I manifest a bunch of stuff, even law of attraction. And then I was like, then I got to a point where I was like doing stuff in the group, like really heavy one-on-one stuff and in Zooms and stuff all the time. And I was like, holy shit, this is real as hell. This is like really real. This is legit. This is real. And then I kept having to try to understand and learn. Like, what is he saying? What does that mean? Like, are we one? We're just imagining our whole life? Like, what does it mean? What does it mean? And then, then you go through a phase where you feel really lonely. Because then you're like, oh, fuck, it's just me. It's just me. Imagining everything. Just me. And then you go through a phase where it's like, why even talk to anybody? Liz and I used to say that. Like, why even have a conversation? It's either just me reflecting back to you, or you're reflecting. It's just either an old story or a new story. An old story or a new story. Or what I think about you or what I don't think about you. Or what you think about me or what you don't think about me. But then you catch on. Like even months ago when I thought, no, like I really know, I know this, I got this. I was like, with someone I was good friends with, and I was like we're having this fight, and I was like, and also what happens too is when you get hooked up with other people who are into this and like a lifestyle where like this is what you talk about, this is what you do, this is what you're like always thinking about, this is it, that's how I am, and that's how the people I've known have been, then it's almost like you think you get some kind of timeout, like, I know we're manifesting this, but let me just tell you, blah, 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 blah. So you go through that, like as if you have some kind of private awning, like that we won't get wet if we stand here because we know this, so we're just going to talk about it anyway, right? And then also, like I was going through this thing with my friend, and I would be like, can you just conform? Can we just have two conform free cards, please? Like, I'm going to think you into doing this anyway. Can you just conform now and make it easier on both of us? And then next time you need something, I'll just conform. Can we just have a deal like that till we could do it? Or then it turns into if I'm mad at you, why are you saying that, Piper? And it's like, you're making me say it. Why are you making me say it? And it's like, well, why are you making me mad at you for saying it? And you can fall, there's a lot of rabbit holes. But one great affirmation that I love always is, I always level up. I always and only level up. And I completely understand law of attraction, law of assumption, and everyone is you pushed out. That's what I do. And it has never failed me. And even what I imagine, is like a turnstile. So if you go through a turnstile and it clicks, once you've gone through that phase, bump, you're locked. That's it. You can't fall back. You've leveled to that point, and the thing locks behind you. And then you go through the next one and it's locked. So just keep pushed ahead. And then something will come and dawn on you. It just dawned on me not too long ago that I was thinking thoughts, seeing something favorable. Okay. Slipping away from those thoughts somehow. A couple days later, seeing something not favorable. Gotta catch myself. Catching myself. Thinking something favorable. A couple days later, favorable. Is that what we're supposed to do? No. And that's why. I said, geez, it's like a hair trigger. This is exhausting. I can't be like every 2 minutes, like, oh, now I thought this, and now that, now I thought that, now, like, come on. Why? Because I'm just, that's double-mindedness, and that's looking at the 3D for confirmation. And at first, I thought it was helpful. Like, oh, look, I caught it ahead of time, so now I know what to do. No. You go in your head and you say, I already know what to do because this is already how it is. This is how it always is. This is how it's going to be. And, go have your couple days or go let my bank account go low for 2 days. Right? Like, I don't, who cares? Because this is what it is. I don't need to look. I'm not going to look. But it takes that to catch. So then you go, oh, I've been doing that. And so that now you level up from there. Because now it's like, because you have to be careful. Because sometimes when things are favorable, you get too excited. And then you're like too excited about them being favorable that you're just as reliant on them. Right? You're like, I'm happy now because they're favorable. I'm happy now. So now you're still putting your happiness in something outside of you. Right? In this case, it's good, but you still don't want to do that. It's here. It's within. I know, I'm getting tired of running. Your subconscious mind is basically God, too. I mean, the subconscious mind is the most coolest thing that there ever is. Even before I knew about any law of assumption stuff. It's like what drew me to psychology. It's like just your subconscious mind. It's like, it just knows everything. It knows everything before you do. You're not really, you have very little bit of, you've barely made any choices on your own. Like even if you think, oh, I'm going to turn left here, just before you thought that, your subconscious slipped in that 1 second and said, we're turning left. And then you're like, I'm going to turn left. You didn't make that choice. Oh, Fry, I'm sorry. I saw Clara, what's going on? So what's the point of trying to manifest? But if it's just you and there's... Okay, so that's a good question too. Because here's the thing. This is a realm. This is a real 3D realm. Where there are 3D things. And we do have senses. And that's why we're in these garments. There's a reason. And that's why things are 3D. And that's why there is food we can eat and not read off a index card. And that's why there are soft pillows. And that's why there's people we want to touch and talk to. And that's why there's cars we want to drive and places we want to go. Because they do harden into fact. And so while we're here, even if I'm imagining it, even if I'm hallucinating it, it feels real. It tastes real. I feel like I'm touching it. I'm experiencing it. So I'm still experiencing it. So at that point, who cares, right? The person is laying there next to you, holding you, saying, I love you. That feels good. Are you like, oh, I'm just imagining you, so I barely feel you. No. You're like, this feels good. Or you're eating chocolate cake. You're like, this isn't even real cake. No. That's why you have your senses. That's why. It's part of expansion, right? Because if I want something, I have to create it. Right? There wouldn't be airplanes. There wouldn't be cell phones. There wouldn't be certain foods. There wouldn't be places. There wouldn't be things if we weren't constantly trying to expand and get to the next solution and blah, blah. There wouldn't be cars. There wouldn't be... Just think in the next 5 years even. I was going to say 10, but in 5 years, there's going to be something that is like our cell phone right now that we can't even think of. But somebody is, right? It's for them. Like, did you think you'd have this little mini computer that you'd like use constantly? And to be on an app to watch a 50-year-old lady in a cartoon thing running, talking about the fact that God is your imagination? Your thoughts change your life? Probably not. I certainly didn't. But here we are. So, God would be so proud. Here's our expansion. Here's my contribution. No, look. Oh. All right, I'm gonna end this. All right, I just want nothing. Oh, there we go. Oh. Now it just seems to be going faster. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the filter was a little bit much. So that's what you do. That's what you do. Your subconscious mind, it's basically, it's like a missile. It's basically like, when God's word is not going to come back empty. Once your subconscious mind knows you're interested in something, it's going to start showing you that. That's why in psychology we have the reticulating activating system, and that's why we have confirmation biases, and that's why we have all these sciencey answers for this kind of thing, right? I always use the perfect example, like you see a car that you're like, I've never seen this car. Like, what is this car? It's a brand new car or something? Like a new style? I never saw one. And then you're like, oh, let me go look this car up. Blah blah blah. It's a new Toyota, whatever. You look it up for a day or two? What happens? You're out there. It's like, it's every other car. Because now your mind's like, oh, you weren't interested. You didn't care. You didn't know about this. Now that you are, you had a thought. And now I'm going to show them to you. You were paying attention to it by looking up, like rather intensely, sort of in a almost hypnotized state. Because you're like looking. You're getting into your brain. You have belief. Oh, just start to see this car. Yeah, this car. And now you're out there in the world. It's going to show you. Yeah, I have belief that this car is, cool and it's going to be everywhere. And there's this car. Then you start to get a conviction that, oh, there's tons of these cars. And then that's when depends on what that conviction is. And that's where we get confirmation biases from and stuff. But your subconscious is really cool too. I'm telling you, one of the things that got me through, where I put it, I just had it, my little magnet. Anyway, I've shared it already, but I was in Ohio visiting, here it is. So I was in Ohio visiting friends. See this? It says Barbados. It's like a fridge magnet. So I was in Ohio, and my friend worked at this very bizarre shop. Sort of like a recycling shop, craft shop, with like things like milk caps and just weird stuff. Like really weird stuff. Old photos, old trophies, yarn. I mean, so it's just like a hodgepodge. And all of a sudden I just said to myself, show me something law of assumption. Take me to something law of assumption. I want something law of assumption. And I just started walking. And like maybe 3 feet away, there's just some plastic bins sitting on a shelf. One's basically empty. I stick my hand in it. I pull out like a Florida thing. I was like, oh, these are magnets. I put the Florida one back. I pull out the next one, and it's Barbados. So like I told myself, like, take me to it. And my subconscious just knows where it is. Like, took me right to it. That's why you can ask. Take me to this. Show me that. Helen's done it with her vacuum. You can do it with all kinds of things. And it's a fun little habit. So even if it doesn't happen like the first time, just keep doing it. Just be like, show me where that is. Like, countless times I'll have like a lighter or a pen. We all know that. I put it down. I look. It's like it was right there. So sometimes I'll just leave the room and I'll be like, it's right there. Of course, I don't say I lost it. I try to say, no, I found it. Thank you. I found it. And then when I leave the room, I say, now take me to it, please. And then when I come back, it's right. It's like right there. We've all known that. And your subconscious mind does have the patterns. I mean, you have had beliefs since you were little. So, oh, Helen. Helen has the most energy on the planet. She truly does. Good night, Helen. I love you too. And eventually we will get together. First of all, I think maybe my subconscious just was like, fuck, I'm not going. I probably knew Helen's going to be on the run. And we live like in we live in the North Pole and the South Pole when it comes to that. So my subconscious mind was probably like, woohoo, they don't call. Without me knowing. Because basically they went to New York City and kind of did every single thing in New York City in one afternoon. So I told Helen next time she comes, we'll get a hotel room and we'll like order pizzas and we'll like watch movies. That's what we're going to be doing. Anyway, good night, girl. Thanks for coming in. Sunday. I'm going to stay until 12. So listen, I do not waste my time with that. I do not. I do not. I'm not trying to reprogram anything. It's, to me, if I'm going to listen to something, you know how I was making those end scenes for people? Actually, we're going to post them again. Because I can make them personalized and we're going to sell them. Quick scene. If you're going to fall asleep to something, fall asleep to your own story being told to you. And let that play in your head again until you fall asleep. You have to ask yourself, do I have a natural belief? Do I have this? Is this a belief? Or do I have to like work on building this belief? Or is it easy enough for me to believe that, oh, everyone does this? But those are generic things, right? I'm chosen, I'm good enough, I'm this and that. You're God. That's why I'm telling you, make the choice now to say, I'm God. I do not ask if I'm chosen. I do not do that. Now, let me be clear on this. I want to be very clear on this. Doing some introspection, doing a little self-reflection. Something does particularly hurt you. Somebody says something. Somebody does something and it's like, that made me feel really bad, or that made me feel powerless, or that made me feel like whatever. It didn't feel good. At that point, you should hold up for a second. Okay, Angie, message me, okay? So I can know what's going on. So I can answer you, okay? Do it before you sign off if you can. Hey, Ruby. So, what was I just saying about, so you do a little, hey, Crystalina. So you do a little bit of introspection. You do a little bit of reflection on yourself. Why do I feel this way? What is going on? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. What I'm going to do now is write down a new sentence for myself, right? Because it's just thoughts. So what would my new sentence be? Since I did find out that this bothers me, right? Maybe I feel chosen, that's not the issue. But maybe I feel powerless right now. Or maybe I feel like, maybe I feel clingy. Maybe I feel embarrassed. Maybe I feel, I don't know, weak. Who knows? So then I would say to myself, I don't like that. That's something good to notice. Now, I don't have to heal. I don't have to write a whole big story. I don't have to do all that. But I would say now, if I didn't feel this way, and I felt powerful, and I felt, strong or this or that, that would be what I would be telling people. This character, what's the character you're playing? It's really strong. She's this really strong woman who comes in and blah, 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 blah. And then my thoughts would be like, yeah, I'm this really strong woman. I'm this really strong, powerful woman who has, tenacity and fortitude, and that's who I am. And what did I say about it? Although false. So you're off the hook. when you're saying to yourself, yeah, but I don't feel that way. Good. Because by definition, an assumption, although false, when persisted in, will harden into fact. That puts you off the hook. I'm listening to Neville Goddard right now on Audible. It's called How to Manifest Your Desires. So far, it's amazing. It's always amazing. Always amazing. Neville's always amazing. Please go check out my YouTube. It's new. I read the book. My father and I know my father. It's a really quick, easy, powerful book. It's about awareness, consciousness. The audio has gotten better. And subscribe, please. And listen. I genuinely love talking about it. And I love going into what he's saying and sort of unpacking it and talking about it. Like, I love doing that. And I have a self-concept that I definitely know I know what I'm talking about. I will learn more, and I will forget things, and I will suffer. I don't like to affirm that, but it's going to happen. But I do know what I'm talking about. And if I don't believe me, I will look it up. And when I do tell you something, and if you say to me, I don't know where you're getting this from, I will show you where I'm getting it from. Okay, good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. So I'll be posting back on TikTok, and then I'll be coming doing some lives. And they are going to get uploaded onto YouTube and to Facebook. So there's something there. We have our webpage coming. January 4th. We have a newsletter coming, January 4th. Supposedly that's our date. Jillian's trying to get stuff ready for. Like I said, I'm really excited about the other podcast because that's just going to be fun and personal stories. And I'm going to have Daisy call in, and I'm going to have Helen call in, and we're going to talk about what's going on and how this has been and what we've done and what we haven't done and what we would do different. So it's going to be like more just that kind of thing. Neville School is on YouTube. Oh, guys, I'm so hot. Can you believe I'm 50 and I'm like, I've been like I've had to have the air on for like 4 years, nonstop. Whew. All right, so I'm only staying on for like 10 more minutes because I really do have to try to make like a schedule. And I'm going to tell you something. So after I had my little like for a few days, I'm telling you, things, when we always say, when anybody who's coaching, when everybody's making content on this, when anybody's saying like, you do not know what's like right around the bend, you don't know what's right around the bend. So two important and rather large things, boom, in like the same week came call after call. So, that was good. And here I was in this like, saying nothing's changed, I'm always in this room. And one of the things is getting to move. And not costing me anything. So Ruby, how familiar are you with Neville? How much have you read? And if any of you are watching and you didn't get what we made, which was like instead of the 12 days of Christmas, we did like the 12 myths, or not the 12, but 12 myths and the truths. And Jolene did a really beautiful job on that PDF. And so just post in the Facebook or on YouTube and just say, like, give it to me. And then I'll put in your email and you'll get it. And then you'll be able to be up on what's going on when our newsletter comes out and stuff. Because I like doing fun stuff. I like doing like my group coaching stuff in like Zoom, so I can like see you and talk to you and we can interact. And that's why that's the one bad thing about these like things where I'm just talking and trying to, read. I want to see your face. Do you look confused? Do you look happy? Do you look like you understand? Do you look like you're sad about something that I said? Do you look, I like that part. Brenner Mella. So I think this went well. Thank you guys. So we're gonna do like topics. I'm not taking a particular schedule yet because that was what was like driving me crazy, but it'll probably be like 2 or 3 nights a week I'll hop on. Probably a weekend and then like 2 nights a week. And I'll like throw out a TikTok or 2 during the week. I gotta get back in my groove. And so we'll do like different Q&As. And then this way they're helpful too, like when they're on the other channels. And I think that's how we're starting the newsletter. Like I wrote a whole thing on everyone is you pushed out, or only self to change, or something like that. Yeah, definitely. Just, things start to change. So depends on like what it is, but yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like people slip away. Sometimes like a habit that you liked or something you used to do, and you're switching over. But think of why, right? Think of why. I always like consider it sort of like, these are just typical analogies and I've said them a million times and so have other people, but like if you're doing construction, right, like in the middle of it, when you have no water in your kitchen, you gotta like, this is the second week that you're still waiting and you gotta go upstairs to get water from the bathroom, like you might feel like sad and this like, tired of this, I don't like it, I'm ready for it to be over. But think of why you're doing it, right? You didn't just tear your kitchen apart for no reason, right? When it's done, it's going to be beautiful and stunning and exactly how you want it. But sometimes in the middle, it's like, oh, God, I'm sick of this. It is, yeah. It is normal. It's all normal. As I'm never gonna say, because first of all, there's no normal. I remember one of my like first psychology classes, my professor said, "Who knows the definition of normal?" A bunch of people raised their hand, and he said, "There is none. It's an invisible superhero that doesn't exist. There's no normal. So if you feel it, feel sad a little bit." Sometimes about thinking about different things, then you feel sad a little bit. But you always just want to remember, why am I doing this? Obviously, they were not things that were serving you very well, or you wouldn't be, wanting to die to that state. You wouldn't want to be forgetting that. You wouldn't want to be moving on. Like, think about if you want to quit smoking, right? There's times where you're like, you got to get through it, but there's a reason that you're doing that, right? Basan. All right, going once, going twice. Any last questions? Any last questions, my friends? Thank you very much for engaging and participating and showing up and playing with my costumes and still showing up when I come back. You guys are great. Cindy Reyes. Hello, Cindy Reyes. We're actually just leaving. I've been here for a while. But if you're in my Facebook group or subscribe to my YouTube channel, this will be posted. It's all manifesting naturally right across the board. I kept it easy. Someone tagged me today, and then they were talking about manifesting is real, it's legit, it's this and that. And then she says she got some kind of reading. So at first I was like manifesting is real. I thought she just watched the thing or something. But then she was saying stuff like, people want you to push you down, all that stuff. So then I wrote back and I was like, manifesting is real. I would be very happy to, show you, introduce you to some stuff because no one is trying to push you down. I said, but also I don't do readings, so I don't know if you meant to tag me. And then I realized she's just actually she's gay and she's just a lesbian ally. So she goes around and finds other content creators that have made stuff specifically for that. And she talks about something that they do and tags them. So it was actually kind of cute of her. But I'm like, I don't do readings. What are you talking about, lady? Hey, Jules. Okay, I'm leaving. Literally, this is your forever hold your peace. If you want to watch this, it's Facebook group Manifesting Naturally, and it's the YouTube channel Manifesting Naturally. There's a handful of videos, a great book. Listen to it. Be kind with audio. I was learning. All right. Health rest. I'm gonna say hello and I'm gonna say goodbye, because if I don't leave, then what winds up happening, and it's then it's 12:15, and then I have one of these weird habits where I'm I don't like to do anything I like to do everything on the quarter. So if it's 12:07, it's all right, I'll leave at 12:15, and then it turns into 20, and I'm all right, I'll leave at 12:30, and then before you know it, I'm on here for 13 hours. I can't do that. All right. I'm not sure what's today, Monday. I'm probably Wednesday, because I'm actually leaving to go see my sister in Washington on Thursday, and I'm in Jersey, so it's a long flight, and so that'll be most of my Thursday. So I'll probably hop on Wednesday, and then once I'm there, I'll be able to hop on and off. She has to work on and off and stuff. And I'll be home on the 2nd, and life will begin again in 2023. All right? So I don't want you to I'm going to leave you with this. I do not want any of you to be making New Year's resolutions. Okay? I want you to be learning, Neville Goddard, learning the teachings from a nice package deal, following the ingredients, following the recipe, showing yourself that you could do this, getting better and better, and then being able to just manifest everything you want in your life from now on. Okay? So, that's it. That's it. Those are my parting words. Thank you all for coming. Fiery Vixen, love your name. Amy, talk to you later. Don't be sad. I gotta see how to shut this. Ooh, wop, wop, wop. Yeah, that's a great name. Look, I'm gonna give you some love. Fiery Vixen. Good, don't. I'll tell you one quick little story. When I was younger, like about 11, me and my best friend, it's girl Michelle Critter, we lived around a block. We were riding our bikes. It was New Year's Day. We were like a block or two away from our house, and the little local newspaper came and said, "Hey girls, do you want to be in the paper? What is your what is your New Year's resolutions?" And so I forgot what my friend said, and I was just like, I don't make them because I'm perfect. And I'm like, where's that confidence, right? Remember we used to get the number one, like those gloves, number one when we played softball? Or when I played softball, we'd be like, we're number one, right? When you're a kid, it's like, I'm number one. I don't need, I'm making a resolution. I'm perfect. And it was in the paper, so it was pretty funny. All right, seriously. Guys, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I'm leaving. Oh, hey, Christina. Is that your name, Fiery Vixen? How did I not know that? Real Bibs. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, good. I still like Fiery Vixen, though. Oh, okay. You guys go changing your names. I can't keep up. All right, loves. Thank you so much. Remember, go watch the YouTube. If nothing else, just watch it because it will help my channel. Just let it play while you sleep and shut it off. Shut the volume down. I really don't care. All right. Adios. Good night. Bye-bye. I can never make an exit because I'm like, where's the button? I'll never be able to storm out of here. That's it, guys. And then I'm like, that's it. Thanks.